It is with some trepidation that I agree with Mr. Gunger in our video this morning that there is a distinct difference between men's brains and women's brains. Of course, my brain is not happy with that simple analogy to describe relationship behavior, I'm sorry to say, Marlin. You see, if there were a surveillance camera in our living room, you would see very much the exact same thing that's happening at the Lavanhars. I'm running around from room to room after a 16-hour day, all around. Jill has worked hard all day too, and she can actually manage to be perfectly stationary while I am buzzing around her like a bee, doing laundry and sorting mail, letting the dogs in and out incessantly, and cooking dinner. But I am the one who constantly turns the air conditioner down because I'm moving around so much, and Jill, bless her heart, is struggling to get it back up again. But she just needs some time to sit and relax and would love nothing more than for me to do exactly the same. But see, I can't possibly relax until all the stuff that is so obvious to me needs to be done is done. So the complication is that Jill's brain and my brain are both women's brains. But this is definitely two very different styles of what I would call re-entry. And I think all relationships could use a little suggestions about how they re-enter with one another. It's re-entry into another space after there's been some time away. You see, couples, no matter whether or not they are same-gender loving or heterosexual, couples have to learn to navigate these different re-entry styles and manage what needs to be done in the home. Now, my experience and my suggestion when I work with couples around this is that if you are the buzzing bee, to take 2 minutes as soon as you are in one another's space again, before the buzzing resumes, and give your partner just 2 minutes of your undivided attention with no multitasking. A hug, a short conversation, just 2 minutes. And what this does is reestablishes connection and reminds us that we are on the same team. Then when the buzzing continues, it usually doesn't have to carry it with it any resentment or irritation, or at least less so. Now, it's difficult to talk about the differences between men and women without falling into some stereotypes. But today, too, I would like to go beyond the usual discussion. I'd like to see if this morning, ladies, we could step outside of the boxes in which our culture has placed us and take a good look at why we still need to go beyond exploring our human experience in the company of men, which is also important, to go beyond that and seek the company of women. Now, we may be more skilled at addressing verbally the emotional side of our experience, but I would like to challenge us this morning to also take off a mask. The masks that we women wear and that we're hiding behind are the relationship roles that we bear. I would like you to consider for just an instant taking off your role as mother, sister, daughter, teacher, wife, partner, friend, companion, caretaker, employee. Can you see this? Professional. See, we wear those same masks sometimes too of doctor, investor, minister, CEO. Because I want to talk to that one part of you that every single woman in here has in common. And what I'm talking about is that part of you that was created in the image of God. I want to suggest that our difficult question is what to do with ourselves when we have stripped away all those relationships, all those means of identifying ourselves, when we take a good look at who am I outside of these roles, and what do I want? I have before in my office sat with women who feel that they have never in their lifetime considered that question. What do I want? They are burdened with a sometimes self-imposed question of what is expected of me. Or they're on a permanent delay of asking that question because the dogs or the children still have to be fed, the laundry must be done, and the house cleaned, because there is always work to be done. So if there's always work to be done, when do we have a chance to rest, to play, to pay attention to what we want and need? There have been a lot of changes since the founding of this country regarding the role of women in society, in the home, in the workplace. Women today have decidedly more choices about their lives than they did 100 years ago. There's been a changing understanding of the word feminist, too. Now, I must confess that growing up in my not-so-liberal home in Oklahoma, my understanding of feminism before I went to college was a derogatory term used in order to describe Jane Fonda. It conjured up images of the 60s, bands of roving, angry, braless women. It's funny to me now that I had put them so quickly in a box. It was those very women who helped reshape society so that I have more control over my life and my body than I ever would have if those women had remained silent. Now, the other image of feminism that I developed in college was the feminism of the salons of Massachusetts and the suffragists, many of whom were Unitarian. Those women who fought for my right to vote and to get an advanced degree were also even bold enough to rewrite the Bible in a more feminine-friendly way. We have come a long way. Women outnumber men in seminaries. We are present on Wall Street, in academia, and in politics on both the left and the right. It used to be that feminists carried with it a certain political slant and agenda, but today that is no longer true. There are very smart and powerful women on both sides of the aisle, even though they put that one at the front last time. It's true. There are smart, wonderful, intelligent women on both sides of the aisle, and we have come a long way, but we're not finished. Now, maybe you have your own fixed ideas about what a feminist is, but the definition is about equal rights for women. And I don't know a single woman or a man in this room who would probably argue with that idea. It's the baggage of the way in which that term has been used and abused that has dissuaded many from claiming themselves to be a feminist. But women today are still learning how to be border walkers between the feminism of our grandmothers, that strength that they had, the feminism of our mothers, and our own understanding as we teach and lead and model the definition of woman to the next generation. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm in awe sometimes that the children of this church will grow up thinking that a woman minister is normal. And they'll grow up thinking and knowing that God is not defined as only male. The difference, I even applaud that. The difference that little fact, or those little facts, can make in a little girl's understanding of who she is and what is possible is enormous.